Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mary Jane Anderson. I live in Minnesota now, and I'd like to give some memories of Eleanor for you today. Meeting Eleanor in the summer of 1978 was a special encounter that I credit a nurse to doing the honors. I too am a nurse. She was the head nurse, known as a sister, at the St. Thomas Hospital in London. And she came up to me one day when I was volunteering there as a seminary student and stated, "Mary, there is someone you might enjoy meeting. She is also an American like yourself." Naturally, I said yes, and that was the start of many years of friendship. Eleanor had been performing in England and had an exacerbation of her MS, which caused her a day or so at the hospital. I guess if it wasn't for her chronic disease, I would never have met such an unforgettable person. When we both were back in New York, she in the city and I upstate, we would often meet up. Later, when I lived near her on 107th Street, I would often help her, especially when she needed help cleaning her Upper West End apartment. The dust that seeped through those drafty windows. I also remember helping her with her infamous New Year's Eve parties where she made countless casseroles for her guests. These parties were all-nighters. She and her beloved musician friends played chamber music until the wee morning hours. Oh, how she loved that. After I was married, I lived in New Jersey, and often Elle would visit us, sometimes with her friend Dick. He was either a trumpet player or a trombone player. I can't remember. She had lots of friends who played instruments. The photos I share are of her and her good friend Dick at one of those visits. And here she is, a picture of Dick and Eleanor at my house in New Jersey. She is modeling a hand-knit coat-length sweater she had custom made for her from her beloved sheepdogs, hair that was saved from lots and lots of combing. I never saw anything like it. Very, very heavy, and I sweat just thinking about it. I believe she didn't really own any dogs, but you think she did by the love she had, especially for one. His name was Barnaby. Later, when I relocated back to my home state of Minnesota, I always had a place to stay when I was visiting New York. She went out of her way always to make me feel at home. So many memories I have, it's hard to keep it short. She took me to my first opera. Everything was a unique adventure with Elle. Her handicap often caused lots of commotion. At the opera, it was quite an ordeal to get to our seats, but we finally did. This brings up another common trait with her. If anything was going to go wrong, it did. Her emails to me were often filled with this or that breaking down or something happening in her life to make things unbelievably difficult. For the common person, anyway. But with Elle, she seemed to get through one hurdle after another. I think it must have been due to having so many wonderful friends like yourself to help her when she needed them. She was often too generous, and she did get burned badly when a large loan wasn't repaid. Her friend of many years, who she gave a good deal of money to, passed away, and his wife never returned her calls or inquiries. However, her generosity was a given nonetheless. Some of her many friends may have been the recipients of her long list of Avon products that she purchased for me, ordered for me, that I have mailed to her on a routine basis for many years. I was her Avon lady. Having an APO box made it easy for me to help mail those to her so that she could either give those to others, those products, or maybe the orders that you... Anyway, The products that I sent to her for herself or for others made it safely to Germany because of that wonderful APO box. My sales were always boosted in those years due to her love for makeup. At reasonable prices too. I think I gave her a discount. And she was a bargain shopper. One last story that makes me think her sweet tooth wasn't her friend and perhaps her only enemy, knowing that sugar is the basis for so many health issues. I would go out to eat with her to her favorite restaurant. I believe the name of it was Charlie's. And she would order her steak raw and then ask to have it placed in a doggy bag so she could bring it home. Then she would stay and I would watch her gorge herself silly at the dessert bar with an array of beautiful goodies that she loves so much. So anyway, rest in peace, dear friend. Thank you for letting me share my memories of Eleanor with you today. Goodbye.